Alrighty, folks. Let's go ahead and get this one started here. What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jada Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully, you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic, and I'm here to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks. It is time for New Mexico State versus Missouri, Kansas City. This is round 2 between both squads from last season. It's part of our month-long journey to go back and watch as many of these games as we can for the Aggies from the 2019-2020 campaign. And we are entering the back end of this long journey of ours. This is game, I believe, number 10. Number 10 in WAC play for the Aggies. I had to do the math real quick in my head. So only 6 more games are remaining, and this one here is a road game against the Roos. Now, you guys know the deal. If you have been following these live streams by now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the stream here on my phone just to make sure that everything is looking good. And then I need to change the title as well. So give me 1 second to do that, folks. And once that happens, we will be getting into this. Alrighty. Let's see. So the last one, it should say versus Chicago State, but obviously that is not the case anymore. That was last night's game. Appreciate everybody who tuned in for that one. We had a pretty good crowd for that one. Surprisingly, it's not one of the better games against Chicago State, but really enjoying the amount of support that I'm getting for this little series that we're doing, Aggie Rewind, as we're calling it. So we're going to name this versus Missouri, Kansas City. There we go. Am I in frame? All that good stuff. It looks as if I am. Let's go ahead and jump into this one, folks. Got an hour and 24-minute video here, so that tells me that maybe some of the stoppages are edited out. Either way, shout out to NM Aggie Athletic Archive, as always, for providing these videos for us. Make sure to go subscribe to them. So we got the Roos attacking from the start. I believe, let's see, is that Whitfield? Let me see, I can pull all these box scores up. All that good stuff. Aggies with the ball here. Terrell Brown still in the starting lineup with Trevelyan Queen still injured, although this is the last game that the Aggies will be without him. I haven't thought about the 3-ball there, but he will hold off. Swinging it around, it's Johnny McCants, no good. Speaking of Johnny, we have the latest episode of Stray Shooter coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time here on the channel, also on lcsunnews.com. So hopefully you guys will check that out because it is going to be a really good one. About 18 minutes, that's how long this video is. And that was Giles who had the bucket there. And just hit Johnny with the pump fake, and he'll get the roll. So there we go. Back-to-back points for Jordan Giles. He had a good outing the last time that the Aggies faced off against the squad as well. Terrell with a tough take. Hits the deck, but they're not calling a foul here. As you can see at the center spot, this guy's name is Josiah Alec, a true freshman who's here in that starting center spot. Even though he's there in that starting center spot, the Roos do have Javon White, who is active for this one. He didn't play last time around. A 6'10" center, a senior center for UMKC. But while he was gone, Alec actually put up some pretty good numbers, and so he still is holding down the starting spot. But we will see a little bit of Javon White, and he does have a pretty big impact here in this first half specifically. I remember. I don't want to spoil too much, but we will see that in these first 20 minutes. Evan with the ball here. A quick 4-0 deficit for the Aggies as they try to remain undefeated in WAC play, keep their win streak alive as well. Yvonne with the ball down low. He's going to kick it out to Terrell. Back to Yvonne. Good D there by Alec. Oh my gosh, you see Johnny just like a bowling ball knocking these pins down. The bucket does not fall, and it remains 4-0. Harnett with the ball gets it to Alec, now to Giles. He's been hot to start here. Eight seconds on the shot clock here. Giles, someone's going to have to put it up. The midi no good, and I believe that is Whitfield. Let me get this right. Yeah, so that is Whitfield. Whitfield's number 2. Gotcha. Johnny with the ball down low, going to work. He's got the mismatch down there on Whitfield, but still no good. Thursday we will have Aggie mailbag. Shout out to everybody who provided questions for me for that. We've got a couple for this one that'll be really good. We have, let's see, the JUCO player that I think will make the biggest impact this year between Kalen Williams, CJ Roberts, and Jason King. What else do we have? We have how big of a role A.J. Harris will play if he is deemed eligible. We're still waiting to find out of that medical hardship waiver. Still no timeline, by the way. And then I am blanking on the other one, but it's another one that we got here from the live stream the other night. Let me pull it up right here. So the article is already written and the video is recorded. I did all of that today before this live stream. I actually just finished it like a half hour ago. And I just need to edit it, which I will do once this stream is over. And that's the long part. That's the part that takes like 5-6 hours. So I'm not looking forward to that. But, you know, it is what it is, man. I love putting out content for you guys. You see Giles thought about it there. And you got to release it at that point. What was that last question? With all those questions at center, do you think the Aggies changed their offense at all? That's another one that we will be answering. So a couple questions there. Oh, and there's one more. Barring any injuries, do you believe the second 5, meaning the Aggies' second unit, their non-starters, could win the WAC? Which is a very interesting question there that I will be answering on Aggie Mailbag as well. So we got 4 questions. Reason why I upped it to 4 instead of 3 from last time around is because our video was actually a little less than a minute short of reaching that 10-minute mark, and that's where we can make it ad friendly. So we need to get it to 10 minutes, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it with just the first 3, so I added a 4th one. Normally, that's how I'm going to determine it, is just I'll keep adding questions until we reach that 10-minute mark for the video. And so for this case, it was 4 questions. But yeah, that's Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Video version will be here on YouTube and on lcsunnews.com. And then the article version, same questions, same answers, just a written version, will be on lcsunnews.com. And other than that, for this week, I have the feature on Armando Villescaz, Las Cruces High School football running back. That'll be coming out on Friday. And I believe that's it from me for this week. A little bit of news, somewhat for New Mexico State. They extended an offer to Deshaun Davis, a JUCO transfer from Trinity Valley. And he narrowed his schools down to his final 2, and it's between Seton Hall and Oregon State. So he has eliminated New Mexico State from the process, from the decision process. So that's a little bit of news for New Mexico State, but that's all that we have basketball-wise for the Aggies. It's news right now. We got a nice backdoor cut, leads to the bucket 6-2 right now in favor of the Roos. Already a grinded out type of game. There is Javon White down low. It's number 25, the big man guarding Yvonne. Spaniard with the ball here down low. Driving, and he will get fouled. Yeah, a guy who got injured. Looks like we're going to see this replay there. A guy who got injured the game before the Roos played the Aggies the first time around. I believe it was a triple overtime game, I think against Seattle, is where he got hurt. And so he was a game time decision for that one at the Pan Am. However, he didn't end up playing. 11 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game for Yvonne. But those stats don't tell the full story. He has been on fire as of late. And a big part of that is what you just saw right there. He's been hitting his free throws at a really good rate. He's already been taking a lot of free throws. It's just he's been cashing out on them, taking advantage. That's played a big part. Stephen M. Good evening, all. What did I miss? Not too much. Just talking about what we got going on for this week. We got Aggie Mailbag on Thursday. We're going to have 4 questions to it, so it should be a decent length video. I actually just finished recording it. As you see, white with the N1. So as soon as this live stream's over, I'm going to go ahead and start that 5-hour editing process to get that ready for you guys on Thursday, because honestly, I just don't want to do it tomorrow. So we got that going on. Only basketball news is some pretty light news, but Deshaun Davis, JUCO transfer, just narrowed his schools down to his final 2. It's between Seton Hall and Oregon State, so New Mexico State is out of the mix. That's the only thing recruiting-wise that we have in terms of news for today. And other than that, there's not too much else going on with basketball right now. There was some news with New Mexico State. School in general, as we see, White with a block already making his impact. Really think he could have pushed the needle in that first matchup against the Aggies. Good block there on Johnny. New Mexico State, the university, the athletics program in general, I should say, did have 6 players test positive for COVID today, in addition to 1 trainer. They didn't narrow it down to which sport or which sports, because it might not all just be from football or all from basketball, what have you. But yeah, the university is keeping their lips tied or sealed on which sport it is. If you guys want to check out the article on that, Jason Groves pretty much just said what the press release had told us. We got something early this morning, and Jason hopped on it. So so that's on lcsunnews.com. But that's pretty much all that we know. 6 players, 1 trainer testing positive for COVID for New Mexico State, and they have closed the locker rooms, which were, or the weight rooms, which were open for football. That has now been closed, and that leads me to believe that a good amount of these players are probably within the football program, although they haven't ruled out that it could be other sports as well. Yeah, the article on that is on lcsunnews.com. High arcing shot by Evan there. That floater, that's part of his game that I feel is really underrated. It's something that we talked about in the straight shooter interview. And he says that's something he's had to work on from a young age, because he knows that that he is an undersized guard. Has to use a lot of finesse around the rim in order to get these shots off against these taller defenders. Still my favorite straight shooter interview that I've done. So if for some reason you guys haven't watched that one with Evan, definitely go check it out. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be the episode with Johnny McCants. It's already been edited. I just need to actually upload it on YouTube and our site and Facebook and all that stuff, and just have it scheduled to release tomorrow. That's ready to go at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, so hopefully you guys check that one out, because it's a really good interview. About 18 minutes of really good content there with Johnny. Somebody who's been looking forward to being on this show. He was talking to me off camera. He was like, man, what took you so long? I've been waiting to have you on. I think I've talked about it before, but the reason why I spaced it out, or I waited this long, is because I've been letting the players decide who they wanted me to talk to next. So at the end of every interview, I'd be like, who do you want to nominate next? Whatever. And Johnny's name just hadn't come up. And I think it was Evan who said, I want to talk to Bryce in Tennessee. And so I did that one, and I posted it. And as soon as I posted it on Twitter, somebody was like, oh, we need to see Johnny on this show. And Johnny actually liked that tweet. And so he'd been waiting, but the reason why I didn't go right to Johnny is because I had just done Bryce in Tennessee, who were Las Cruces natives as well. And so it would have been like the same hometown heat thing. It just would have been back-to-back Cruces episodes. And I was like, we have all summer I'm going to try to space them out. Um, but yeah, I just ended up just reaching out to Johnny because the AJ Harris interview fell through. I knew he was going to respond to me quickly because he wanted to be on the show. So that's why we decided to do it this week. But obviously, I wasn't avoiding it. I just wanted to space it out. But definitely, I've been wanting to talk to Johnny for this. And shout out to him for setting it up. Just within like 24 hours of me reaching out, not even, within like 4 hours, honestly. He got back to me really quickly. So shout out to him. And the interview turned out great. As we see Will with a little touch around the rim. That's one of the plays that we showed him for straight shooter as well. That patience of his, something that's improving. And that's pretty good perimeter defense there as well on Giles. Impressive stuff there from Will. But yeah, that patience, as we see Chandra on the charge, is something that he said he learned from Yvonne, specifically down low. So it's a big man. I mean, if you're trying to learn patience from a big man, there's no one better in the WAC than Yvonne to be your teacher. Good move there. So yeah, definitely a good mentor there. And Will, being so young, only entering his sophomore season, has a ways to go, plenty of time to grow. So you look at hard net there. $11-10 right now. The Roos still in the lead with 11 minutes and 35 seconds left. Sean Buchanan with the ball here, gets it to Jabari. Again, the Aggies still playing without Traveling Queen here. However, he is returning in a limited run, but still returning in the following game against Seattle. Giles is playing straight up defense there. Giles, another guy he's a bit of an in-betweener at that power forward spot, but he's got a lot of muscle on him. Did not budge at all with Yvonne backing him down, and there's just a bad pass there. Almost thread the needle, but that's a tough ask to Williams. So that'll be a turnover. 1 point lead for Missouri, Kansas City. I'm still getting used to calling them Missouri, Kansas City, because at first I was just calling them UMKC, but apparently they did a whole rebrand and they changed that. So they don't like UMKC. Missouri, Kansas City. Yvonne with the ball here, gets it to Sean Williams. Johnny thought about it. Pump fake. Camera went crazy there. Sean Williams, top of the arc. No good. Gets his own board. Oof. Good thing that was Johnny there. Somebody with a good wingspan to haul that in. Alec on him. There you go. No good. Yvonne, the turnaround. A lot of second opportunities, second and third chances for the Aggies, but it does not go down. They still trail by 1 point. Also, a little bit of personal news. I will be going on vacation, as we see the 3-ball there by Williams. I'll be going on vacation from July 12th, July 13th to July 17th. So 4-day span where I will be back home in San Antonio, making that drive to visit family and whatnot. And this will pretty much be my last vacation that I can take for a while, because after that, football season will start to pick up in August. And then before you know it, that'll be over and we'll have basketball because they're back to back. So I'm taking a good 4 or 5 days, I think, off just to get ready for that couple month long push, you know. But of course, I'll still have some articles already pre-written for you guys and stuff like that. And if there is any breaking news for New Mexico State basketball, I can't keep myself away. I'll still provide it for you guys, but there won't be any live streams or anything like that. I'll try to get a straight shooter interview just done in advance before I leave. So that will just be a matter of hitting publish for you guys. Aggie mailbag, I'm going to just have it as a question mark for that week. But for sure, straight shooter, I'll have something done for you guys before I take off. 14-10 right now. Aggie's trailing with 9 minutes left in this first half. We do have the first half box score this time. So we didn't have it in the last game, but we do have it this time. So once we reach halftime, we'll take a look at that. Shout out to everybody for tuning in to this, whether you're watching live or on replay. I appreciate it. As you see Alec with a nice turnaround shot. Very impressive out of this first year center. Looking forward to seeing what he does these next couple years with the Roos. Because Javon White will be gone, so undoubtedly he will be the go-to center for this squad. Lead there by Evan, poking that ball away. Yeah, so here we got, I believe it's going to be Jabari at the small forward spot here. He did play a good amount of small forward when Trev was injured. Honestly, every guard did. Three ball there is good, but there is a foul beforehand, so it'll stay 16-10. Another one of those games where Aggies are on the road and they get punched in the mouth early here. Had to respond to it. We saw that with Seattle, where they actually opened up a, was that the one where they opened up a double-digit lead? Yeah, they opened up a double-digit lead. You saw that with UTRGV most recently. Definitely New Mexico State is a team with a big target on their back in the WAC. Add in the injuries, you know. These guys, these opposite teams, this is their big game every single year. Their chance to deliver a statement, and they're seeing New Mexico State a little wounded here, trying to take advantage. But every single time it looked like the Aggies just responded. So props to them. Right now they're down 8 with 7:46 left in the first half as we have a short break here. Let's see if it's going to get edited out because I haven't noticed that yet. I feel like it might. It's an hour 26. Probably not then. Oh, yeah, a little bit. Well, that was just to cut out the commercial breaks, I think. You see a look at the gym there for Missouri, Kansas City. Series history, New Mexico State leading 14-1. That last meeting is the one at the Pan Am we were talking about, a 74-71 victory. Very narrow win where the Roos actually had the ball with about 3 seconds left. They forced a turnover. However, one of their big men, I forget who it was, just kind of, you know, in the heat of the moment, just launched up a little mid-range shot. And they needed to step back just a little bit further to try to shoot that 3 ball, but it came down to it. The Roos caught fire from deep in that one as we see a great tip pass there by Johnny. Oh my gosh. I don't remember that play. Yeah, the Roos caught fire from deep in that last one. Now they're up 5, 7:35 on the clock. Three ball there by Whitfield is no good. It's a guy who I think was a was a top 2 scorer for the Roos in the prior season. However, just couldn't really find his rhythm this year. There was a lot of Harnett and Giles and White this year instead. So we see Yvonne backing him down and getting the bucket to go. Cuts it down to a 1-possession game. Just under 7 minutes left in this first half. I like this court by UMKC though. If any court incorporates like a skyline or something like that, like I'm a sucker for skylines. I think that looks super cool. Yeah, I like the look of that. I'm also a Warriors fan for basketball, so anytime I see blue and yellow and that kind of mixture, it's a good combo for me. Yeah, it's a cool looking court. Gym not the biggest. I'm interested in seeing what their attendance for this game was if they listed it. Let's see. Attendance was 4,517 people. Really? No. That's got to be the old game. Okay, that's the Pan Am game. I was going to say, there's no way. There we go. That's a lot more realistic. 1,513. That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay. So a little over 1,500. Yeah, that makes sense. Because Seattle was, what? Seattle was $999. Just one under $1,000. And their little temporary replacement gym. So this one's just a little bit more. You see Evan with the free throw rimming out, something that he said was a big flaw in his game this season that really frustrated him was his free throw shooting. I don't remember the exact percentage, but I believe it was in the high 70s. Look at Alec there. 4-point lead with 6:05 on the clock. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Been having a great day. Mine hasn't been too bad. No complaints from me as we see Alec getting the rest there. Yeah, no complaints. It's been good. Just finished recording the Aggie mailbag video. So looking forward to y'all seeing that on Thursday. Not looking forward to editing it tonight. It's going to be great. Last week I stayed up until 7 a.m. editing that video. So I'm planning to not do that again tonight. If it gets too late, the good thing is it's only Tuesday, so if it gets too late, I'll do some of it tonight and finish it off tomorrow. Because the straight shooter thing with Johnny McCants is already edited. It's ready to go, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, not really sure why I made one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, where they're bunched up. I probably should have done like one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and then a feature article on Friday, which I'm going to try to do pretty much a feature article every week for high school football, leading up to the start of the season. So that probably would have been a better idea. It would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it is what it is. It's Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, I suppose. This is Sean with the bucket there, 20-18 with 5:25, and we got a short break. Coast to coast. Don't see us a whole lot out of the Mississippi Menace, but saw the lane. Really got a police escort to the rim. Nobody there to stop him. It's not good transition defense by the Roos, and Sean's too much of a veteran to not capitalize there. Aggie's rocking that black uniform that is my favorite. I like the look. 2-point ball game here, folks. Yeah, it does not look like these little breaks, these timeouts and everything will be edited out for this video. But to be honest, I really don't want to get to editing this video once this live stream's over, so I'm not in a rush. So we're going to let it ride. I'm not going to fast forward anything. I'm cool with sitting here for a bit and just watching it. Pretty tight competition here on the boards. Aggies with a 10-9 edge in that department. However, they do trail by 2 points still. Again, shout out to everybody who provided questions for Aggie Mailbag. We do have 4 for this video. We got pretty much prediction for the Aggies playing style. We got how big of a role I feel A.J. Harris will have if he does come back. We have the JUCO transfer that I feel will make the biggest immediate impact this year. And then we have, do I think the Aggies' second unit, if there are no injuries, could still win the WAC? Which is a very interesting question. A very disrespectful question to the rest of the WAC opponents, but a legitimate one, so that's why I went ahead and I included it. Yvonne with the bucket down low, 23-20. It's been tight this whole first half, but the Roos have had the lead. As we see Giles, it's an and one there. You have the first 2 buckets for UMKC to start this, or I'm sorry, Missouri, Kansas City. And now he gets that one to go. Thought the screen froze for a second. This video is already downloaded, so there should be no buffering. I would have liked to have seen where the foul was, because I didn't see any contact because they just missed it in replay, but they did call it nonetheless, and this is one more freebie for Giles. He will cash in. 6-point ball game, 4 minutes and change here. And then with the basketball, bringing it up the court. Gets it to Terrell. I will say one thing, after watching these live streams, something that I've really grown to appreciate is the scoreboard that these opposing teams provide. As we see a nice block there on Jabari from behind. There's been some, I forget which one it was, but there's been some where they don't show the shot clock, and that's really annoying to not see that. But this one's got everything. There's been some where it doesn't even show if they're in the bonus or not. But this scoreboard has all of that. So shout out to UMKC for providing that. It makes it a lot easier when I'm having to commentate this and I don't want any just dead silence. Usually at around that point I'll say how much is on the shot clock or something like that. So this makes my job a lot easier because I am, even saying I'm an amateur play-by-play commentator is putting it very nicely. I have 0 experience with it and I pretty much just ramble for an hour and a half. I'm definitely no Adam Young, no Jack Nixon, none of that. Russ Bradford, all that. Aggies trail by 6 with 3:16 left in this first half. Once we reach halftime, we will look up the box score for the first 20 minutes. And then we'll get into the final 20. New Mexico State, a 14.4 average margin of victory in WAC games this season. That 3-point win over UMKC was their lowest margin of victory up until this point. Didn't end up being their lowest of the whole season, as you guys know, because of the Utah Valley game. But still, this is a Roos team that played them tight. And I believe, I believe even though that first game didn't prove to be their closest margin of victory for the entire WAC campaign, out of all the series that the Aggies played against WAC opponents, meaning like the both games combined that they played these teams, the Roos, that series was the one with the lowest margin of victory, the average. So on average, this is the team that played New Mexico State the closest for both games combined. You see the second free throw here by Williams, I believe. That one is good. Both teams are in the bonus here. Aggies still with 3 timeouts. UMKC, or Aggies with 4 timeouts. UMKC with 3. Ball comes loose there. UMKC going the other way. Tomorrow night will be the game against Seattle at home, the return of Trevelyan Queen, so hopefully you all will join me for that. 6 p.m. Mountain Time. You guys know the deal by now. So we see the layup there, no good. They are letting them play tonight. I will give the refs credit for that at least it's being called consistently, because we've seen a couple where Terrell hits the deck. We just saw that there. That's the thing. I don't mind when refs let them play or don't let them play. To me, I think that's just dependent on the group of referees, you know. So in that sense, I'm not mad at it, but it's just as long as it's called consistently, as long as it's called on both ends, then neither team has any excuse to complain pretty much. And it looks to be that case so far. Just under 2 minutes to go in this first half. The Roos pretty much led this entire time. Actually have led this entire time. Now that I think about it, yeah. Almost a turnover there, but Jabari Rice with the ball at the top of the arc here. 17 seconds on the clock. Jabari driving. And he will get to the free throw line. They have been letting him play, but definitely that's a foul there. So 2 free throws for the redshirt sophomore out of Houston, Texas. Jabari Rice, the Houston Boiler, is the nickname that he decided to go with when I interviewed him for Straight Shooter. Cashes in on the first one. 2-possession ball game. Second one by Rice on its way. Finds the bottom of the net. 5-point game, 1:33 left in this first half. The Roos with the ball here. It's been a good first half. Aggies playing from behind the whole way so far. Although I will say they have stayed within striking distance so far. Hasn't gotten out of hand. I think the biggest lead was around 7 or 8 points for the Roos. Still, an impressive start by Missouri Kansas City, especially defensively. Holding the Aggies to just 22 points. That deep ball no good. Sean Buchanan going the other way. Surveying the floor. He's going to attack on this one. Second time that we've seen him take this one for himself. And he cashes in both times. Good start here by the Mississippi Menace. Eric Jimenez steaming Rice. Yes, sir. He says any word from AJ. No word from AJ, unfortunately. We will still have the interview with Johnny McCants tomorrow. It's been edited. It's already ready to go up there. And then we'll have Aggie Mailbag on Thursday, where we'll have 4 questions that I'll be answering in both the article and the video version. 3-point ball game now with 37 seconds left in this first half. We got a short break. Yeah, I don't know what happened with AJ. Especially because I let them pick the time and the date. So, you know, I'll work my schedule around those interviews. If they want to interview during this live stream, I'll say no problem. I'll just push the live stream back. Just won't do a live stream. If it's early in the morning before I normally wake up, no problem. I let them pick it, and he did pick a certain date and time, but I guess something just happened and just never reschedule after that. So it is what it is, man. Three-point game here. Eric Jimenez, that doesn't look promising for his return, unfortunately. I don't know if I put too much weight into that. I don't think that I would. Because Coach Jans did give me the thumbs up to talk to him. So I feel like if they had some inclination as to what the decision was, that might have affected it. But he was cool with me talking to him. I think it's just that he's back home with family. and that he's not required to talk to me. As we see Terrell tying it up with the deep ball. Yeah, with it being the summer and all, and him back home. Ohio also being one of the hot spots for the pandemic right now. So, I'm sure talking to me is the least of his priorities right now while he's back with his family, just making sure everybody's safe. So I would say it's more so leaning towards that. As we see a 3-ball there, gives the Roos a 3-point lead at halftime. And let's go ahead and take a look at these first half stats before we get into these final 20 minutes. So for the Aggies, it's Ivan Audacoechea with 9 points, 3 boards on 4 for 7 shooting from the floor, 6 points for Terrell Brown, and yet another start on the first unit. That's on 2 for 3 shooting, and then 4 points each for both Evan Gilliard and Sean Buchanan. 41.7% shooting from the floor for the Aggies. That's 10 for 24. 16.7% shooting from behind the arc, just 1 for 6. And then 75% shooting from the free throw line. That's 6 for 8. The Aggies have 4 turnovers so far. Not terrible. And then a look at UMKC. They have 6 turnovers. Leading the way for them is Jordan Giles, who had that hot start, the first 2 buckets, and then we saw an and one later on. He's got 10 points. 3 turnovers is something to watch there. But still, 10 points and 3 boards on 4 for 6 shooting. And then both Javon White and Marvin Nesbitt Jr. with 5 points apiece. The Roos are shooting 12 for 20 from the floor. That's 60%. 3 for 7 from deep. That's 42.9%. And then 3 for 4 from the charity stripe, which is 75%. Now let's go ahead and get into this second half. Eric Jimenez says, so if there is no season, do you think everyone gets automatic red shirt? But then if that occurs, rosters would be inflated, especially with incoming recruiting class. Yeah, I mean, that's a real possibility. I think we would say pretty much the same thing that we saw with baseball, with all of those sports, where pretty much if your season was cut short because of that, then they will give everybody that extra year of eligibility, and it pretty much does just become up to the school to decide who they offer those scholarships to when they return, because the scholarship count won't change. For basketball, it'll still be 13, and it'll just be a matter of how the Aggies handle that individual. It'll be up to every single university. They'll have to say, you can return. Maybe we can offer you a scholarship. Maybe we can't offer this guy a scholarship. It's definitely something that's a real possibility, and I don't know how they'd handle it, because already as it is, they have a lot of question marks in terms of how they're going to hand out these scholarships right now, let alone with the 2021 class coming in. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do think it's safe to say that they would give everybody that extra year of eligibility, like what we saw with baseball and softball and all that. Evan with the ball here, driving, and he will get fouled. Yeah, I think that's a pretty big reason why right away there were a lot of questions once the WAC tournament got canceled. Are the seniors going to be allowed to come back? I think it was pretty clear right away that the answer was going to be no, since they played most of the season. They played too many games to justify, for lack of better words, just the headache it was going to be to bring all of these guys back again. And with the added possibility that it might happen again the following year. So then what happens after that? I think that's what really ruled it out pretty early on. But it could still happen this upcoming year, because definitely numbers are still growing in a lot of states, especially back home. With me being from Texas, numbers are growing ridiculously right now. And we just don't know at the moment how it's all going to play out. 1-point game right now. So we see the bucket down low there. That's Giles once again. Not the biggest guy at that 4 spot. One of the strongest guys in the conference. Terrell with the ball here in the corner. Gets it to Johnny. He's extending his range. That's a deep one, but it does not matter. As Mark Jackson would say, hand down, man down. You gotta contest that, man. Led the team in three-point percentage there, and good defense by Yvonne blocking off that pass to Javon White. Look at this, the confidence. To be fair, Javon White did get a hand up on him there. It's a 6'10" center, and he launched that over. I think he was a little bit late on the contest, though. Wasn't quite expecting that. Yvonne backing him down low. Got it to go. That hook shot, lethal. Eric Jimenez, do you think if they cancel football, basketball, and other fall sports would follow, or is there a possibility of delaying the basketball season? I'd say all of that is a possibility. They could delay it. They could shorten it. They could cancel it altogether. I know that seems like I'm not giving a direct answer, but honestly, I think it is just nothing's off the table, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, just with the way new cases are coming up right now, I definitely wouldn't rule anything out. Aggies with the lead here, 17-26 on the clock. We got a turnover here. New Mexico State going the other way. He can get out to Terrell, a little pump fake, a floater in the lane, got it to go. Underrated part of this guy's game, known mostly for that spot up shooting, that catch and shoot from deep. When I talked to him for straight shooter, he says the first shot that he works on every time he gets into the gym is that mid-range pull-up, that floater. Because he already knows he's a shooter from deep. He knows that already. It's just a matter of adding a little something extra to make him somewhat unpredictable. Where he can blow past you with the pump fake and launch that floater up there. Stephen M., is that your medical opinion? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, man. Yeah. You see a lot of, like, sports-wise, a lot of experts and stuff talking about what's going to happen. The answer is that nobody knows right now. And that nothing's off the table, quite honestly. And that's what they've been telling us, just the media as well, just to, be prepared for any outcome. There might be a scenario where even if there are games, they don't allow fans, and they don't allow some media, stuff like that. Like, it's just a wide range of possibilities for how this season could play out. From it just being normal to it just not playing out in general to everything in between. 2-point game here, as I believe that was Hardnett with the layup. .16:34 on the clock here. Well, it's been a tightly contested one this whole time. Audikoechea going to work on Alec. Good defense once again from the freshman. The tip-in rattles out. Oh my gosh. I mean, he full-on stiff-arm. That's not anything? I know y'all saw that too, right? You can do this. But I saw like a full-on stiff arm there. Anyways, that's Giles with the pump fake. Kicks it out. No good. This is Whitfield, and a second chance, and he will cash in on this one. Alec looked like he turned an ankle down there in the trenches. But that three-pointer gives the Roos the lead right back. 37-36 with 15:40. Yvonne down low. The answer. He'll go to the free throw line. chance to give New Mexico State the lead right back. Before that happens, we have a short break here. Yeah. Rob Whitfield, 13 consecutive games with a 3-point field goal made. And usually if you give a good D1 shooter a second shot from the exact same spot on the same position, or the same spot, he's going to cash in on it that second time around. And Whitfield definitely is a good 3-point shooter. Cameron Montano, what did I miss? It's been a close one this whole way, man. Rews had the lead for the majority of that first half. The Aggies have had it for a short while here, but they trailed by 1. Little New Mexico State news, Deshaun Davis, JUCO transfer, has narrowed his choices for schools after the Aggies sent him an offer, but he has removed New Mexico State from his short list. It's now down to Seton Hall and Oregon State. So that's the only news recruiting-wise for the Aggies today. Personal news, just what we're doing this week. We got Straight Shooter with Johnny McCants coming out tomorrow. That video is already done, edited, good to go. Aggie Mailbag is going to be 4 questions long, and that'll be Thursday at 11 a.m. Video's been recorded. I'm going to edit it as soon as this live stream's over. And then on Friday, we will have that feature with Las Cruces High School football running back Armando Viescas. Other news with the university for New Mexico State, their athletic program in general had 6 players test positive for COVID today, in addition to 1 trainer. And the university hasn't disclosed which sports those players are coming from, or if it's exclusive to just one sport or not, we don't know. But they did shut down the weight room for football, and that leads me to believe that a good amount of those players are from the football team. But they won't say if any of them were from basketball or not. I haven't been able to get anything. They've been keeping their lips sealed on that. But there is an article on that on lcsunnews.com that Jason Groves wrote up, if you guys want to check that out. And that's pretty much it, I think. Eric Jimenez, I guess Davis doesn't want to win conference championships, he says, and then with the laughing emojis there. Yeah, I mean, Oregon State is a good option. Seton Hall isn't bad too. They've made the tournament pretty consistently, I'd say, as a lower seed. Yeah, that's the only recruiting news for today. As we see Jabari Rice with the step back 3. Okay. Makes it a 4-point ball game. .14:40 left in this one. Hardnett with the tough bucket off the glass. Really good touch around the rim. Two-point lead for New Mexico State. The Roos actually shooting much better from the floor, but they do have more turnovers. Jabari with the ball here on the wing. Gets it to Terrell. 8 on the shot clock. The extra pass by Sean, no good by CJ, but the tip in, I think they're giving that. Is that going to Johnny? Johnny or Jabari? Either way, still counts for the same. It's 2 points for the Aggies, and they got a 4-point lead now with a smidge under 14 minutes left in this one. Eric Jimenez, love the black unis. What's your favorite? That's my favorite as well. Yeah, as we see, Sean not happy that a foul is called there on Alec, but he will go to the line. Yeah, I would say these black uniforms are my favorite. Second being the throwback jerseys that they would wear at home with that special logo. I would say that's my second favorite. Which just got added as a secondary logo a couple weeks ago, for those who don't know. Not just for New Mexico State basketball, but for the whole athletics program. So you'll be seeing that logo a lot more as a secondary logo for different programs. Which I think is pretty cool. 4-point ball game here. Alec looking to make it a 1-possession contest with 13:47 on the clock. And he will not do that. Front rim. Sean Buchanan with the ball now. Strolling up the court as the Aggies try to slow it down here a bit. Well, a lot of movement there. And I did not see what that call was. Thoughts on Dixie State and Tarleton State? I don't expect either of them to have as quick of a turnaround as we saw like with Cal Baptist, where they kind of really shot up the standings very quickly. I'm not seeing that from either of these teams, and I do think it definitely is a step down from Cal State Bakersfield and Missouri Kansas City, because I think those are two teams that would have been pretty good this upcoming season, especially Cal State Bakersfield being a team mostly consisting of juniors. A lot of guys coming back from their senior year. I think they could have competed very well. But we'll see what Dixie State and Tarleton State do. So you see Giles with the bucket there. And they did shorten the WAC tournament eligibility, like the grace period for new incoming programs. So it has been shortened to 2 seasons instead of 3. So that's why you'll see Cal Baptist being eligible this season. They're still not eligible for the NCAA tournament, but they're eligible for the WAC tournament. And so 2 years from now, we'll see Tarleton and Dixie State being eligible. Eric says, need to get out of the WAC. Yeah. BCG will be fun, though. New villain of the WAC. Yeah, I mean, definitely getting out of the WAC. It's not the best conference. There's a lot of New Mexico State fans who feel like the Aggies need to get out of there as well. Personally, I think that they've got a pretty good route to the NCAA tournament each time. Although the seeding is the big problem there, that strength of schedule isn't enough for them to get anything more than like a 12 seed at best. So there definitely are pros and cons to staying, with that route to the tournament, but at the same time, not getting as much national respect, in terms of the credibility of their wins. 4-point ball game with 11:58 left in this very tightly contested contest from start to finish. The Roos trying to get a statement victory. The Aggies trying to stay undefeated in the WAC. Improving, I believe, to 10-0 in conference play is what they're looking for. Any schedule news, says Eric Jimenez. No schedule news, no timeline. Team's still working out, locking up some of these dates. All that we have right now is the 2 UNM games and then the 1 neutral game against Santa Clara on December 23rd in Vegas, which hopefully I can get out to. Hopefully. I would love to have 2 trips to Vegas. We'll see what happens. Giles with yet another bucket. He's been coming through all night. 16 points on 7 for 11 shooting, 2 blocks. I don't know. I might have to upgrade him to that team I was talking about of my favorite players to watch outside of New Mexico State in the WAC. Because my starting power forward for that team was Justin Edler Davis out of Cal State Bakersfield, but I think Giles is up there as well at that power forward spot. I just love in-betweeners at the power forward spot, guys that can really stretch the floor and finish down low, and Giles does that really well. You see a corner pocket shot, no good, rims out for Terrell. I was ready to say corner pocket rocket, and it felt like it hit that rim from all points, but it rattles out. Eric Jimenez, do you know which MTE we're playing in? Mocha mentioned it before. I don't know. I'm not sure if Mario did mention that. As we see Vaughn with the bucket down low. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest with you. Vaughn with the bucket. Still trying to put this one away here. 4-point ball game with 9:56. Oh, Eric says he didn't say which one, just said him as he was in one. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say, I was looking it up like, I feel like I would remember if Mario said that. Just trying to search it up real quick. Yeah, no, there's nothing on that. Four-point game with 9:30 left. Kick out here to hard net. Rue swinging it around. Good rip there by Sean, but it stays with Missouri, Kansas City. A desperation shot there by Harnett as the shot clock expires and it rims out. Still a two-possession ball game here. Sean Buchanan driving, hits the deck, and they're going to call a travel. Interesting. Sean asking for a little contact there. No instant replay. I mean, definitely a travel with him falling, but I didn't get to see if there was any contact there or not. But apparently not, and with just under 9 minutes to go, it is Missouri, Kansas City ball, trying to make this one-possession ball game. Three-point shot, no good. Jabari with the board going the other way. Yvonne trying to get positioning down low. You see he's calling for it. There you go. It's a good matchup for him here. For a little hook shot. He thought about it, but a beautiful pass to Terrell Brown. We need to see that one more time for the people in the back. Something I've been talking about is this guy's passing, his vision as a big man. So dangerous. And also the heads-up play by Terrell. He has no idea what Terrell Brown is at this point. His back is completely to him. That's just something that comes with Yvonne being so dangerous down low. As he draws the attention from these other guys, he sucks in the defense. And Terrell, that's a veteran move to cut in. And for Yvonne to make that last second pass. Great decision there. And this says it all. You see Bryce Rewalt with the vision, the binoculars. Great find there by Yvonne. Definitely, let me pause it real quick. Definitely, when I interview Yvonne for Straight Shooter, I'm going to show him this play. And so normally when I'm watching these live streams and I see something, I'm going to show a player. I write it down on my notes, so just give me 1 second to do that real quick. 8:14 left against UMKC. Game 2. There we go. You see, so when you guys watch these live streams with me, you're pretty much watching me scout some film pretty much as well for future interviews and stuff like that. I think I found a couple for Will during these live streams that I ended up showing him when I interviewed him for Straight Shooter. It's happened a couple times. You see Tennessee was just doing that again right there. Yeah, that's a great pass. And hopefully I'll get to talk to Yvonne soon. I know with him being back in Spain, makes things a little difficult. But we are certainly going to try. What I might do, honestly, is I might start reaching out right now and just save it for that weekend in mid-July, or that week in mid-July when I'm going to be on vacation. And so I'm giving myself plenty of time to get that interview done. And then I'll just leave it to publish while I'm gone. We might do that. So we might have that episode in about 2 weeks. Hopefully Yvonne will be willing to set that up. It's a little bit harder with guys, not only where it's the summer where they're not required to talk to us, but in addition they've graduated, so they're really not required to talk to us. But Yvonne has been great every time that I've interviewed him. Super respectful, always been on good terms whenever we talk, so I feel like he will answer back. And it was a great interview as well. Definitely looking forward to seeing what he does now that he's graduated too. I know he has signed with an agent whose name I'm blanking on. But it's an agent that primarily deals with players overseas. In Spain, I think, is where that agent is based. So even though I haven't talked to Yvonne since the season ended, it makes sense that that would be where he'll end up going, is staying home in Spain to continue his pro career. 6-point ball game with 7:25 left in this contest. The Roos went from playing in front for pretty much all the first half to now they've been trailing, but are within striking distance here. So we see Harnett with the tough pull up there in the mid-range, does not fall, back iron. New Mexico State going the other way. Evan with the ball here. Somewhat of a quiet outing for him tonight. One guy who's not been quiet though, Yvonne. A turnaround, the finish over the 6'10" rim protector, and you see him flexing on him as well. Puerta del Swole. Getting the bucket down low. WAC leaders in field goal percentage. That says it all right there. New Mexico State and then UMKC just 0.1% lower. Two teams with really good ball movement, really good shot selection. Just a lot of guys who can put the ball in the basket. Big reason why out of all the teams in the WAC, UMKC, the team where their series was the closest margin of victory for New Mexico State. 3 the first time around, and I don't recall the final score for this one, but it did come down to the wire. 8-point ball game with 6:20 left. Ball gets to Whitfield. He's hit a couple so far, but that one's no good. Johnny with the board. Evan going the other way. Bounce pass to Sean, and it looks like, let me slow it down here just a little bit. See, Bond starts to go to work on White again, and again will finish and one this time. Good Lord. You know he lives for these sorts of matchups. This is a tough one. Like I said, a 6'10" senior center in Javon White. And Yvonne's taking him to school here. That spin move, his go-to move to free up some space. There was no chance White was going to block that in time. Arnett with the ball here. They got Alec in the game now. Alec has been doing a much better job of guarding Yvonne. Again, I've been really impressed by this guy as a freshman. I believe a true freshman. Josiah Alec, although he does turn it over there. And Yvonne's calling for it again. You got to feed the hot hand. He wants this one. Smart decision to kick it out, though. Get a little restart. Makes it still, but it's a foul beforehand. That's something that the Jans has talked about and that I've talked about a lot, is that the team does a really good job where when somebody's hot, Jans doesn't have to tell them, the rest of the guys, speed this guy to basketball. They know to do it already. It just comes with a veteran squad that's played together, that has good chemistry. There's no selfishness with any of these guys. If Yvonne has the hot hand, um, nothing has to be drawn up for him. They just know to get it to him. And they're certainly doing that right now, and it is paying off. So that foul was on the floor. However, Aggies are in the bonus, so Yvonne makes that first one. He'll have one more here, trying to make it a 13-point ball game. He already has 23, and he'll stay that way. But the offensive rebound by Jabari. Just get it down low again. Johnny with the putback. The Aggies have just like that really blown this one out of the water here. 14-point lead with 5 minutes and change left. Just seems like any time the Aggies had a close game where they could have lost, where it could have gone either way, they find a way to come out on top. As you see an emphatic block there by Johnny. Look at this. Nobody boxing out for the ruse, and he's going to make him pay. Free throw here. First one is good. But the ruse got some work to do now. They trail by 13. Zion Williams. Sure would make a difference if that was Zion Williams' son. But it is a 13-point game, and Yvonne gets a much-needed, much-deserved breather here. This one staying with the ruse. Could also by CJ though, as he runs into the bench there. That's another guy who I think I'm putting that episode up there. The interview with CJ. Love talking to him. He's a character, dude. If you guys haven't watched that, CJ definitely is a character. And something people don't know about them is that he has a hidden talent, which is that he makes for a great talk show host. Jans and his wife had an event where it was a women's clinic where the players like teach the women how to dribble, how to shoot, all this kind of just like basic basketball stuff. And they had a little like raffle where they were giving away stuff, and they had CJ Bobbitt host it because I was at this event. And CJ did like a game show type of voice the whole time. It was hilarious. And Jans was saying pretty much like, hey, if basketball doesn't work out for you, you can host like The Price is Right or something like that. He said something like that. But yeah, it's a little hidden talent for CJ, but always fun to talk to him. He's a character. As he gathers the air ball here. Aggie's content with just slowing this one down. Time is on their side with 4:30 left. As they try to extend their win streak and improve to 10-0 in WAC play. Eight seconds on the shot clock here. Jabari gonna have to put it up and put it down. A little contact, no problem. And they're feeling it at this point. 16-point ball game. A smidge under 4 minutes left, and this one really has gotten away from the ruse here. As we see the layup there. Really good defense by Missouri, Kansas City this whole game, except for these final 6 minutes. They played them tight. But again, that senior experience by New Mexico State, whenever the game's up for grabs, they just find ways to come out on top here in WAC play this season. Definitely this one could have gone either way. The score a little bit misleading as to how close this game was. So we see Jabari with a great cut, Johnny finding him. And yeah, it is pretty much Rap City at this point, folks. So once this game is over, we will look up my final score prediction for this game. See how accurate that was. Tough shot. Tough shot. You see the grin there from the redshirt sophomore. We'll look up that. We'll look up the final box score. And then we will also look up the recap article to read off some quotes. Again, for road games, I don't actually talk to the team. The SID will interview the players or the coaches and then send me the video. So I don't remember who we talked to for this one, but we will look that up. It's probably just Jans. That's normally the case unless somebody has like a really big game. And then we'll get out of here. And tomorrow night will be the game against Seattle at home. The return of Trevelyan Queen. So definitely a reason to check that out and join me on the live stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. I hope that you guys do. There are some highlights for Yvonne there. He's had plenty of them. Needs one more point for his career high. 23 on 9 for 14 shooting and 4 boards as well. The Roos really just had no answer for him all night. Whether it be Josiah Alec, Javon White, it did not seem to matter. Another guy, or it doesn't seem to matter, Jordan Giles. Give this guy credit. Yvonne has struggled to guard him down low. He's got 18 points, 8 for 13 shooting, 5 boards, 2 blocks. Great performance out of him, and I believe he had a pretty good performance that first time around against the Aggies too. It's a tough ask when it comes to guarding this guy. We got that matchup again here. Good D by Giles, so strong. Does not budge when Yvonne is backing him down. And it stays a 14-point game. I'm going to start pulling up these articles because if you guys follow these live streams, this series of ours, you know it takes me a while to pull up this stuff. So I'm going to try to get that ready for you guys right now. Okay, there we go. We got that. We got my final score prediction, which I don't remember what it was. There it is. Okay. Let's look up the recap article. Alrighty, got that done. And we got the final box score. Cool. So we'll have all of that set up for once this game is over. There's Giles once again. He's been killing it. 14-point ball game with 2:41 left. The Roos finding themselves in a hole after leading pretty much, if not all of the first half, I think. With the exception of a few ties, but they were in control, and the Aggies catching fire down the stretch here to really get this one out of arm's reach. Whitfield with the 3, got it to go. If you guys remember this game, this one gets a little close down the stretch here. The Roos not going away quietly. Good D there by Whitfield. It's a tough guy to stay in front of, Evan Gilliard. 11-point ball game right now with just under. You're here at the 2-minute warning. I've been looking for Yvonne down low. They did a good job of cutting him off there. Anybody but Yvonne is what they're pretty much saying right now. As you can see, whenever they come off that pick and roll, both guys caving in for a second. So we'll leave Evan a little bit open. We're just not letting you dump this pass off to Yvonne down low. Doing way too much damage. Look at Coach Jans. You can see everybody on that bench getting excited except for Jans and the coaching staff. They know this one's not over just yet. Kick out there. 14 on the shot clock. Hardnett going to pull it up from deep and knock it down. Just like that, 8-point ball game with 1:22 left. Surprised the team that the Roos aren't doing a more aggressive full court press in order to force some turnovers here. I know that's not really their strength in terms of how many turnovers they force per game, but still, you'd think this is desperation time. But they do get one here. Whitfield going the other way. Whitfield and one. Tough. Evan trying to draw the charts. I think he does so well. But I don't know if we're going to get this replay or not, but it looks like Whitfield had already taken off. Let's see. Because once he leaves his feet already, it's too late for Evan to set something. It's a bang-bang play, but they're going in favor of the Roos, and he will get one more free throw here as well. Trying to make it just a 5-point game, a 2-possession contest with 52.8 seconds left. The free throw is up, and the free throw is good. Wow. Talk about a game changer just like that. And now they're starting to do a press here. The Aggies will break. They'll get it to Johnny. New Mexico State going to run off as much time as they can before the foul here. Aggies are in the bonus, so this will be a trip to the charity stripe for Johnny McCants right now. Trying to put away this Roos team for good. But a lot of credit goes to this squad for sure, for sticking with it. The Crucis Crusader here at the charity stripe. Free throw is up. It's a one-on-one. It hangs on the rim. No good. Missouri, Kansas City going the other way. Hard net with the ball now. Crowd is on its feet. 3-point shot. I believe that's Giles. He's had the hot hand all night, and that's a decent look. That is a decent look. Just cannot fall. So it stays a 5-point lead for New Mexico State. Jabari Rice at the line here. So he's going to try to make this a 3-possession game and essentially put this one away. First one is good of the 1-and-1. Big time. This is the big one though. Trying to up the lead to 7. 11 points on 3 for 6 shooting for Jabari. Right around his average. I think he averaged around 13 points per game. So not a bad performance by him. Hard net, driving, the kick out, but he'll get fouled beforehand. We got another pair of free throws here for the veteran point guard. Trying to make it a 5-point contest. Yeah, as you see, Sean Buchanan swiping down with that right hand. Pretty much got all forearm. Easy call there, and that's 2 freebies at the line now. Eight points for hard net. Gets that one to go. $25.9. This is something New Mexico State does every time, and it works. Johnny McCants with the and one. That is a football pass. The precision by Sean Buchanan, you've seen that plenty of times. You saw the Utah Valley game. where Trev leaked out and they got it to him for the easy slam. This one a much more impressive pass though. You want to talk about a tight pocket, Sean Buchanan. Beautiful pass, and I think we get an instant replay here. We have to. Yes, sir. Goodness. Goodness. Yeah, that's a dagger. Wow. Definitely, I've been considering doing a top 10 plays from New Mexico State from last season video. That one would have to go on there without a doubt. To pretty much seal a game too, as we see Jordan Giles hitting that bucket. Still a 5-point game with 10.6. However, time really running out for the Roos here. They have no timeouts as well. Best believe they're guarding that leak. As you can see, Johnny was making a run for it again. Not going to let that happen twice. Instead, it'll be free throws for Jabari Rice. So redshirt sophomore gets to the line. And this should be the double bonus, I believe, as well. Yeah, double bonus for Jabari. So 2 free throws. As the Aggies are just 8.8 seconds away from improving to 10-0 in conference play. Once this game is over, we'll look up the final box score. Quotes from the team, my score prediction, heading into this one, all that stuff. This one rims out, but it is a double bonus. So he'll get one more opportunity here at the charity stripe. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you guys have enjoyed this, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. It would really help this channel grow. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe as we try to get this channel off of its feet. That free throw is good, so it's a 6-point game. Hard net with the midi. That's not going to do it. And they are saying that Jabari stepped out of bounds, it looked like. Well, 0.6 seconds left. This is pretty much just a formality here. It's going to be one last heave. And that is no good. Giles with the miss down low, and it's 67-61. New Mexico State coming out on top. Let's take a quick look at what my score prediction for this one was. So 67-61. My prediction was 68-66. So pretty close. 1 point off from New Mexico State. 5 points off from UMKC. I'll take that. A look at the quotes. We got to hear from just Coach Jans after this one. This is him talking about his team's defense. He says, "We really dug in there in the second half. Our defense took a hold of the game. I thought that certainly we made some shots, but I thought our defense was the reason we were able to get the lead to 16. Yeah, definitely there were a lot of shots being made, specifically by Yvonne down the stretch there. The defense was solid for the Aggies throughout. And then this is Jans talking about, speaking of Yvonne's performance here, here's what Jans had to say about it. He said, UMKC wasn't doubling him much, which was kind of surprising. Maybe that's some respect for some of the other shooters on the court. But he took advantage of the one-on-one play and got some guys on foul trouble. The best thing about it was I didn't have to tell any of our guys on our bench to give him the ball. They felt it, saw it, and kept feeding him and playing off him. He's a big reason why we won the game. That's something that I was saying when Yvonne was hitting those, when he got that and one, is that you don't have to ask this team twice to get the ball to him. You don't even have to ask them once. If somebody has the odd hand, they are going to get it to that player. It's a very unselfish team. It just comes with a lot of veteran experience like they have, and just really good chemistry, good teaching by the coaching staff as well. So definitely props to New Mexico State for that. Let's take a look at the final box score of this one. I can pull that up really quickly here. For New Mexico State, it was Yvonne Audacoechea, no surprise here, at game high 23 points, 4 rebounds, 1 dime, and even 1 steal to go along with 2 blocks. Wow, just the stat sheet there. 9 for 15 shooting, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Once again, another good performance from the line. And then 13 points for Jabari Rice to go along with 3 dimes on 3 for 6 shooting. I'm sorry, 2 assists on 3 for 6 shooting. And Terrell Brown with 10 points, 3 assists on 4 for 8 shooting. The Aggies had 10 turnovers, which is not the worst, but normally try to keep it to under to single digits. Still, though, not terrible. They did win the turnover battle because UMKC had 11. The Aggies shot 50% flat from the floor. That's 24 for 48. They were 4 for 12 from the three-point line, so actually didn't heave up a whole lot of them, 33.3%. And then 15 for 21 from the free throw line, 71.4%. So a lot of freebies there that they cashed in on. Jordan Giles for the Roos led the team with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 9 for 15 shooting. Ridiculous performance by him. And then 9 points apiece for both Rob Whitfield and Jashire Hardnett. Like I said, 11 turnovers for the Roos. 50% shooting once again. Actually, the exact same, 24 for 48, same as the Aggies. And then 6 for 18 from behind the arc. And that is 33.3% shooting, so same percentage from deep as the Aggies. And then 7 for 11 from the free throw line. That was a big difference, 63.6%. But folks, that is going to do it for this one here. Tomorrow's game will be Seattle at home, and that is the return of Trevor and Queen. So hopefully you guys join me for that, because it should be a very good contest. What else do we have to plug here? Tomorrow, Straight Shooter, Johnny McCants episode. Looking forward to y'all seeing that one. It's going to be at 11 a.m. And then also at 11 a.m. on Thursday is the Aggie Mailbag, where I answer your guys' most pressing questions on New Mexico State basketball. It's going to be a video version here on both YouTube and lcsunnews.com. And then an article version, same questions, same answers, just a written version will be on lcsunnews.com. Something that I need to go and edit right now. So it is going to be a very long night for me. But still, I look forward to bringing these videos to you guys. And hopefully you guys check them out and enjoy them. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notification bell so you can get notified every time that we go live or every time that we upload some of our other series like the Mailbag or Straight Shooter or all that stuff. You guys know the gist by now. But I think that is going to do it for me tonight. Hopefully you all stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for tuning into this, guys. It's been Justin Martinez, a.k.a. J the Sports Dude. And I'm out.